Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw. 2016 has been a fantastic year for the city of Camarillo, and Mayor Mike Morgan joins us. And where does he even want to start? So many good things are happening.
Well, the latest good thing, I think we talked last time about water. Water being very important to all Southern California. With the drought the way it's going, and hopefully, cross your fingers, we're going to get a lot of rain and snow especially in Northern California. But we are going through that drought. We've been known to have had a 20-year drought.
Yes.
Okay, in California. And so we got to be prepared for it. Well, we've been working on this for years, getting a desalter in Camarillo, because we have brine water that comes from Simi Valley down into Camarillo and underground, and it collects. We have billions of gallons of brine water below us now. Billions, not millions, billions. And of that water, farmers can't use it, no one can use it. And it's putting pressure on our drinking water in the Fox Canyon aquifer. We've had to shut down one of our wells because it's getting too salty. Well, now, as of 2 weeks ago, we finally got permission to start. Now we can start our desalination plant.
Wow.
It'll be located over behind the hospital. So now it's all the paperwork you have to do.
Sure, and the money.
And we'll raise the money. But we've got money from the state that gave us $5 million grant, and it would have ran out last week if they hadn't done that. So we got
Just in the nick of time.
Yes. And so now we have that, and we're also applying for grants from Feinstein's bill that's pending in Congress, which looks good. We'll know here in the next few months. And that will we'll be able to get some millions out of them. Mm-hmm. Well, it'll cost us approximately $50 million to build this plant. But it's going to provide 70% of the water of Camarillo's uses of water. And the water will be reverse osmosis. Well, reverse osmosis is what you're drinking. We drink Dasani. That, the little glass of Dasani. Yeah. Read down below and it'll tell you reverse osmosis. So now you're going to have better tasting water, not as much salt, no salt.
Right.
And it'll be less expensive, no more expensive than what we're drinking right now. And additionally, we don't have to worry about the delta breaking up in Northern California, because everyone's projecting in the next 30 years, could be next year, the delta is going to break. Delta are islands, major miles and miles islands that they farm. But those 60-foot dikes that hold back the river and the water, it's getting old.
Yeah, the infrastructure is antiquated.
If it flows in, one or two of those, we could be without delta water for 3 months to 3 years. Mm-hmm. Now see how much we depend on that delta water here? Half of our water now is from there. All of Ventura County, well, not all, but Westlake, Thousand Oaks, Moore Park, Simi, Oxnard, and Hueneme rely on that water. What happens if you don't have it for 3 years or they don't get any more?
We're in trouble. But not every area has the good fortune of having that brine water.
No. We're very fortunate that at first, for a long time, it wasn't fortunate because it was ruining our, we couldn't use as much for the farming. But now it's a resource. And if we used what we have down there now with nothing coming in, we have 26 years worth of water down there for Camarillo.
Sounds to me like other communities are going to be knocking on your door.
Yeah.
But if
we'll
you
teach
had
them how
gone
to do
the desalination route with ocean water, that would have been cost prohibitive.
Desalination plant on the ocean is much more expensive because you have different membranes, many more membranes you have to put into effect to take the salt out of the water. We are doing brine water, which takes a lot fewer membranes. That's why it's less expensive. But if you planned ahead, coastal communities could get together and build one big plant. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to have to start looking at that.
Right. Now, how long, Mike, before you get this built? How many years will it take? And they've been estimating 2 or 3 different things because we've got to do all the paperwork first. You've got the paperwork, it's not finished yet, you got that done. But the paperwork and getting the bids and getting everything set up to build the plant, it'll take 2 years to a little over 2 years to get the plant in function. The brine line that takes the brine water out to the ocean is already in place. Okay.
Because Callegas, for a couple of years, built that line on Lewis Road. It's in the ocean now. They're waiting for us to hook up.
Yeah.
So we're happy.
It's an engineering feat.
It is, and we hopefully will put into place a lot of solar cells and things like that to cut the electrical costs, so it makes it even less expensive. And the more grants we get from the federal government, even less expensive the water's going to be.
Yeah.
And so we're very happy in pursuing this. We have been to D.C. Charlotte and I did, as council member Charlotte Craven. We went and walked everywhere. We talked to the people that have something to do with that bill, the congressman, the senator, everything. And it sounds good. If this bill passes, it sounds like we're going to get some money out of it. So we're happy.
So other things you're happy about too, that just the city
Our
itself, the way
city-
it's looking, the streets.
We've done more this year on this city than I have every year that I've been on the council, working on this altar. But we put in millions of dollars into resurfacing our roadways. If you go over there now, they just finished or getting finished. Every main thoroughfare looks like a new street because it's black and it's marked and it looks like a new street. So we were happy with that. That got done in quick time too.
Yeah.
And the other one over there, Ponderosa Road, that ends up at the Springville Bridge. Ponderosa Road, usually they just build it as they build a project, they complete each section. Well, they agreed with us. Okay, they'll do it all at once. So now that's complete. Now the traffic is flowing so well over there, they don't have to go into Las Posas and wait, and so they can go into Springville and get on easier. Other things that have come around is that we have been working on a desal plant. Not desal plant, but a hotel site there across from the Factory Outlet Mall. That big piece of open land that
A lot of
was
restaurants
blighted.
have left there, and that'll be the place where you'll put it.
Was blighted. Blighted means that they can't build because there's certain flood. Something is causing it to have a problem. Well, we had the redevelopment money we had. We got back their bonds from the state saying we were doing it the correct way. So we got all the projects back. Just delayed us 2 years. But now we've been working with a hotel site that's going to build there and have a conference facility, which we don't have a big conference
Will it be
facility.
a Marriott or a Hyatt, or do you know?
It'll be Embassy Suites.
Embassy Suites, okay.
And another smaller hotel. And so that will help improve that area greatly.
Now you get convention business.
Yes. Plus the bonds will help do the flood control, and we'll cover it. So that's another, it took a big step forward last week. Mm-hmm. So we'll be moving on that one. The other things that we're solving, the old firehouse, it's been sitting there for ages, and we've gone through so many hurdles and hoops, and they took it away from us in the state. Again, that's one of the projects. Well, we're working with St. Mary Magdalene to sell it to them. And we're working on the conditions now so that everything goes well. When that gets done, we're going to build a pavilion in the back of that park. So the whole park can be used for entertainment facility. If you go down the boulevard, it's going to look so much better in 2 years. We've got the old courthouse there. Ventura County Transportation Commission bought that courthouse, old courthouse. And they're going to put a new frontage on it. It's going to look beautiful. Down the street, you had an old gas station. It had been sitting vacant for years because they're pumping out what's underground has to be clarified. Well, it got clarified, and now there's a beautiful building there. It'll be open soon.
What about the population? Has the population seen a tremendous increase in
No.
growth? Not really. It's stabilized.
No, we have a growth control ordinance that says you will only build 400 units a year. Okay?
So-
Now, 4 years, we only built 40 houses. Back when the economy was going bad in 2008, 9, 10, at that time, only 40 residences were built in Camarillo.
That's
40.
unbelievable. Camarillo Mayor Mike Morgan, always a pleasure to see you, and we'll see you next time right here on Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw.